Hi guys, if you find that your age debtors or age creditors are different to your balance sheet, one of the things you might need to look at is this option that you'll see in the age report, which is a comparison to the general ledger. So if you click on that, it brings you into a tool that has got a lot of options in it. So I thought I'd go through what those options are. But essentially, the main things you're looking for when there is a difference between the age debtors and the balance sheet are a number of things. It could be that you've made a change to your previous financial year, and you need to do an end of year rollover again. You could have put in a journal, a general ledger journal for the control account, being either debtors or creditors, for example. That obviously doesn't have then a entry in the subledger. And the other one that can happen from time to time is that you can sort of get around the problem of, you can work around the system and get it to so you do a transaction, like for instance receipt banking, and you allocate it to debtors, for example, directly rather than through the actual subledger. So there's things like that that you can find that you can do in the system that gets around the balancing function of having the subledger match the general ledger. Anyway, this routine here, the general ledger comparison to subledger, what I normally recommend that you do when you run this routine is you run it for a very wide range initially. So say for instance you run it from the time you started the system, and let's say that was 1st to the 12th, 2020 or something like that, and then run it up to the end of the year. And I'll just do that here like that. Now, what I then normally do is just use the Y on the use transaction date and leave all the rest no initially. And I'll show you why in a sec when we run this. So you'll then run this routine here, number one. Don't bother doing the quick one if you still see that option, but run the detailed one. And what that's going to do is going to get all the data from the subledger and all the data from the general ledger and do a comparison just by date. And what then at the end of the report, you'll see then a comparison for which day that the problem is. Now, typically it's only one day or a couple of days that there's actually an issue. So then when you've got the day, and let's just take a scenario that it's the 20th of June is the problem day. Then I then go and change these to the 20th of June, and then I go and mark these extra fields to give me a bit more information. Don't need legal entity in most cases, might need that one. So put them all there and then run the detailed one again. And that's going to find you exactly the line that is the problem line. If you run that initially, there's going to be a lot of lines that you see there that are false positives, basically, of here's a problem and it doesn't match. But it might be that the IDs or the references don't exactly match in the subledger versus the general ledger, and that's why it can't match it up properly. That's why I normally don't switch these other options on until I've got the exact date that I'm looking for that problem on. But that should find you your problem and find you where it is. So if it's a journal, then you might need to delete it out or re-journal it as of today. If it's something like corruption, then you might need to contact us to get us to fix the corruption. But yeah, as I said, you can run that. This is set to creditors at the moment. You can change it over here and set it to debtors or one of these other ones. But normally debtors and creditors is the main ones people use here. But that's about it. So yeah, that will run your report, find you those errors. As I said, do it just by date first, and then come back and do it by a bit further detail with these reference and the transaction type and things like that. All right, have a good day. Bye.